Alright, so I'm switching things up here and starting an episode over at the Ruby Center, because I've never done that before. I'm holding magenta glass because the iron farm is broken. There were golems spawning outside of the designated area, so I restarted it, and now it's better. So, this here be the slime farm, and it is not the topic of today. Oh god, okay, yeah, Flossie wants me to do chunk loading, and that's what that is. I am gonna be covering up a little project. I'm going to be covering a few projects that just haven't been done and needed to be done. So, oh, I should go check out that umbrella. Somebody did this and it needs to be mentioned. This is apparently the new AFK point because it's totally not too high or anything. There just needs to be umbrella on top of an umbrella on top of, oh, wait for this. You're never going to see it coming. On top of an umbrella. So, yeah, that's what's going on here. So, what I'm doing is something that needs to have been done a long time ago and nobody ever thought of. So let's hop into spectator mode and see exactly what that is. So the witch huts here don't actually have any kind of toggle on and off. You can turn off the witch huts themselves so that they don't, keep spawning. No, so that they don't keep harvesting, but there isn't actually any sort of system in place to actually disable the spawns. So I figured I should come in here and maybe put redstone lamps in. I'm not entirely certain how I'm even going to do this, but I'm going to try. So I think I'm going to hop into... I guess the best way to do this would be to hop into the creative version of this witch hut, and I might have to dig through some old files, but I think that's where we should start. I found a solution, kind of. The frame rate in here is terrible. I can't even record. Okay, there we go. So the Ruby Center is really, 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 really laggy, especially when it's not being hosted on a server and my computer has to do it all. So I had to go to the last episode in the Project Ruby Center playlist, and I took the world download of the Ruby Center. Sorry for the slow FPS here, but I figure the best way to start is to just rip into one of these witch huts and make sure it's disabled, and then I can start testing. By the way, this is a really old backup. I should probably update this or something. So I found a solution pretty fast. Something I'm actually kind of happy with. So what I've done here is, okay, well that's not supposed to be up there. What I figure is we'll have a row of 9 redstone lamps. So in this case I've used sea lanterns, right on par with the block that harvests the witches. This way they don't interfere with the spawns at all. And then one strip of sea lanterns right up here, or well, redstone lamps. And then these can all just be powered with dust or whatever, and then that'll actually seep in through the slime blocks, and it perfectly covers every block in here. So I thought that's actually light level 7, but I guess I can just add, you know what I could do? Here. Alright, so it turns out I actually came out with a layout that I think I'm happy with. So I figured out that the redstone lamps would only have to be in this kind of zigzag zipper pattern at the very top, and then at the very bottom I could just have 9 long strips going right on the same level that I said I wanted to earlier. This perfectly covers the whole farm. I've been checking right up here. Each block is at a minimum of 8, and oh, except for this corner block. No! The reason I wanted this to be 3 wide is because if you're going to turn this on and off, you can just have one strip of redstone dust going right down to the end, and that'd cover every single one. And then same on the side here, as to avoid blocking the spawns here, I'll just have a redstone dust going right up until the one before the end, because you can just power this block and the last one will get triggered. And I'm thinking this will be a separate switch along with the system. I'm not entirely sure how I'll wire this up, but it'll probably just be an observer line going up, and then a piston forgets its block, and everything stays on. So it really won't matter how much dust we use, because it'll just be toggling on and off with pretty rarely. It would have to be user input. Update guys, it turns out I had one short redstone lamp. So this is actually 9 long now, but previously it was 8. So that does cover this last block. So I solved the mystery. Oh boy, look at me. I'm working on the witch huts again. Alright, and just by placing this block, that should be disabling the top layer and the second, so the middle layer. I'm not entirely sure actually if that will work, so let's hop in here and check. I still have a row to add, but yeah, it looks like that's disabling just about every block except for these corner slime blocks. And that's okay, so that will be covered by the redstone blocks I'm about to place now. What will be a problem is the fact that there isn't any block in the game that can cut off a redstone circuit that doesn't stop spawns, to my knowledge. So I'm gonna have to figure out a different way to wire this. Ooh, I was hoping for a challenge. Alright, I thought of a really interesting idea that I haven't seen done in many other places, and this is probably not the best way to do this. However, I want to try it out because I know it'll work. And that's that if you have an observer on a fast enough clock, it will do something pretty cool. So you see it blinked the redstone dust on and off, and I don't know if you can place it or not. Let's actually see. So there you go. If you have an observer on a clock like so, let me just break that. It actually powers the redstone lamp on and off at such a speed that that they don't turn off. So it just emits a constant stream of light. A unique idea emerges. I've decided I can kind of zigzag the wiring by just dipping it down a block wherever I need. And in this way, I'll be able to power at least most of these redstone lamps. Here, you know what? I'll just grab a lever to simulate the observers, because placing them is tricky. I'll be able to just power the redstone lamps like so, and this won't actually interfere with the wiring. An interesting addition to this means that the redstone dust will be facing into a block, so we can actually shave off an entire piece of redstone dust by doing it this way instead. And I think this is going to be the way to do it. Now, to power the observers on and off, I figure I'll just move them out of the way with a piston, and that shouldn't be too tricky, but, well, we'll see how that goes. I just had one of those beautiful moments where, you know, when you get this far in the game, you don't really want certain stuff. So, like, I just killed a zombie, for example. One spawned up here because I removed the slabs. And it was like, and he didn't drop anything. And it's like, that's just awesome. He even had armor. So I was fully expecting a chest plate or something. And really, that would have just ended up being more crap in my inventory that I didn't want. And he didn't drop anything. And that made me feel pretty good. But yeah, I guess it's as good a time as any to kind of show exactly what I've been doing. So the wiring goes along just like so, and it actually just so happens so that the pistons are going to be spaced just the same as the bottom layer, and the piston layout's the same on the top layer, meaning I can just put half slabs where the wiring goes so that I don't bud power my pistons, and this can work completely independently because the observer will just face straight down. And down here, I was having trouble where this block was always going to be powered, and I got around that by just putting everything down a block, and now this observer just updates a rail. Alright, I finished the layout. This is actually going to work really well. You turn it on, lights come on instantly, turn it off, they go right off, and this is pretty cool. So because the observers are transparent, they let light through, and up here with F3 still up, you can see that every single block is now light level 8. Remember, the slime blocks before were light level 7. And I think this is going to be a pretty effective way to turn off all the huts. Like I said, the redstone dust and the piston movements, like, it shouldn't really be a big deal. They're only going to be triggered every once in a while manually, and it shouldn't really be a problem. And I like this a lot. I think this is going to work very well. Now it's time for me to not forget the fact that I removed all the slabs up here, and then I'll just wire this all up to one input. Alright, this side actually went a lot smoother because it's... Uh-oh. I'll figure that one out. This side actually went a lot smoother because this time I kind of knew what I was doing, and down here I actually noticed that by lowering this observer down a block and having it being updated by the rail, I could actually take out 2 redstone dust pieces. So I'm just being hyper efficient today. What just happened over here was I realized I could save on 1 extra piston by just using this block instead, and as I just discovered on camera, I can't actually do that because it's gonna get in the way and get powered by that. So I'm gonna have to do this the hard way. Ouch. And then place the observer this way. So yeah, actually going pretty well on the other side. Oh, that was close. I almost got to expanding this wire around the side before realizing my iron blocks are on the same level as the spawning floor. I hadn't thought of that. Okay, so that's gonna make powering these pistons a little bit trickier. I didn't want to have to do this, but it should be easy enough to just bud power them. So if I do this, I wonder. No, I don't think that would work. I could just do like that. I'm trying to think, because now I suppose I could put observers aiming straight down, and that would make the piston forget its block. Would that be better? I mean, this would work fine, you know. But what I'm also thinking is like, on the same redstone wire, here, I'll just make it happen. Quick pro tip, by the way, you can actually place an observer like this. If you place a block and then like a dust on it, aim straight down, and it faces the observer down. So, cool trick. I can actually use that right down here because what I want to do is power the piston with a block, which I just realized isn't going to work. I could use a redstone dust, yeah, and then I can just come down here and place it like so. Nice. Alright, this might actually work a lot better because now I can now I can do the wiring in powered rails. So if I put the lever on the side now, turns it on, turns it off, turns it on, turns it off. I think that's a lot better, and if I go to spectator mode here, you can see that there are no solid blocks on level with the pistons. I've already explained why the redstone dust isn't a big deal, and I think that's actually a little bit better. I mean, this is actually less redstone dust than before. Alright, and then that'll just forget the observer's block. The piston will forget the block, and the observer will go straight down. Okay, yeah, that's a really great solution. This is working pretty well. So yeah, now I can just place the blocks in and then fill in the rails. Honestly, I do love the idea of doing redstone with powered rails. This is so fun. Because over here I can actually expand the rails down to their power limit. So this is 9 long, and I just put the redstone dust right here. Kind of funny, but I mean it works. If I place the lever here, for example, they'll go down, I'll go off. Alright, this actually wired up pretty well. I couldn't quite get the full length of the rail over here because I had to bend this, and I couldn't place a solid block on the level, so I had to do one more redstone dust than I wanted to, but there you go. This actually turns on and off pretty fast. And now, I need to find an input. So up here, if you recall, is the line of dust at the top, so I just need to connect all of these. And I think they'll be coming from the bottom, so I need some kind of observer input. What I'm thinking is I'll take from the line down here. You can see that this whole system powers off with this piston, and it all gets triggered from this redstone line here. So I turned the huts off by hand to work on this project, so when this is off, I guess I'll just trigger it so that this can go maybe, well, I wanted to use this corner. Yeah, I could just have a line of observers going straight up from here, like so, and then I think I have jump boost? Yeah, I do. So I could just put a line going up, just like so. Sometimes I love the Ruby Center. It's like, well, I mean, I always love it, but sometimes there are times like now where it's like, which door is the best? I'm really standing here just kind of shopping for a door. And honestly, I think jungle doors look the best. I don't want rotten flesh. See, this is what I was talking about earlier. I had to kill another zombie, and now I just got all this useless mob loot in there. Ooh, that would be a really pretty screenshot. Oh, I gotta go get it. Alright, all the broken trees kind of ruined it, but I think that's gonna be fine. Oh, man, this area is just a scenic gold mine. Look at that. You got the moon rising over the Ruby Center, the sun setting over here. Ah! Spider trying to kill me. A skeleton trying to kill me. No, I'm going back to the safe perimeter where there aren't mobs. Mobs can spawn indoors.
Need more doors.
How am I gonna fix that? Ah, crap. Guess I'm gonna use rails. In the death of my machine, I have come up with the very fastest possible way of mining down little stuff like this. I'll fix that in a second. So what I'm doing here is hitting the 3 key, the 1 key, the 3 key, 1 key, 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 and the whole thing is destroyed. Isn't it just magic? Alright, now it's time to build it back up, but this time with rails. Alright. I have finally gotten to the moment of truth here. And what I'm thinking here is when this pushes up, it will trigger a whole sorts of things. So, yeah, it doesn't really work here though. I don't know. Maybe I'll have a whole bunch of pistons get triggered from this. Oh, let's just go nuts, shall we? This can push over into a redstone dust that can start, I don't know, here. So that's gonna face up like so. But that'll power the first one, so that's not gonna work. We can trigger it like so. Yeah, okay. And then we need something that can't move. Do I have my little red? Yes, I do have my little red. Do we have furnaces? No, but I have a dropper. Works for me. Okay. Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. So, by default, everything should be dark. Uh-huh. Spawn proof, spawn proof, spawn proof, spawn proof. Look at that. Just slab all of the things. Yeah. Now let's get out of here. I'll replace the block I broke. And we have a moment of truth time coming in here. So let's float on down like a little bird. Uh-huh. And boom. Flick. Hey, look at that. Our little lever from the bottom has turned off everything. Everything's okay. Yeah, piston forgot its block. That one forgot its block. Everything's lit up. Now for the real moment of truth. See, there's a witch up there. Yeah, no more can spawn now. Now the actual real moment of truth is right here. What should happen is everything goes dark, except for this one block where there seems to be a lighting error. Good, nice. I'll clean up whatever I have to, link this to the main on-off switch, and then we'll do it for the other ones, because this was 25% of the work. Yay. And lastly, I just took an output. This repeater powers the block down here, and that actually triggers all of this. So I just ran that line here so that when that dust turns on, that will actually turn the whole witch huts off. And because I'm going to have to do the exact same thing for all of the others, I think I'm going to end the episode here. I think this was a nice little mini project. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something about, you know, clocks and dust and rails and spawn abilities and I don't know. We lit up a witch hut. Yes, we did. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.